morning, friends. Welcome to Vlogmas Day 7. 25 videos, 25 days, every day here on YouTube. Started off this morning going to the gym, and now we're at Whole Foods having a little brekkie with my friends. Got a turkey chorizo wrap, a blue bottle coffee, Nola, best coffee in the world, and then I got a little chicken noodle soup on the side. In today's video, we're gonna be talking about 5 things I wish I knew before I got into data/tech. And this is coming from a data scientist/analyst perspective. We're gonna kind of share little things throughout the day, but for now, I'm gonna eat, go to a cafe, get some work done. I have to catch up on some editing and then also work on some final projects that are due this week. Today I'm actually not working, it's finally my day off, and I can just sort of sit down and get some work done. Much needed work done. Let's eat. That is not good at all. Big yawn. Okay, so today we're gonna be talking about the 5 things that I wish I knew about data in tech before I got into it. We're actually gonna talk about the first one, which is the fact that stats is so important. More than that, just math in general in this field is so important. I would say it's nearly 50 to 60% of the actual role. Because yes, you can know the methods of how to do things and all the processes and things like that, but if you don't really know how the logic behind it is working, I feel like in the data space, you're gonna have a hard time. You need to be pretty good at math and you need to be pretty good at stats in order to actually do the job well and make a difference, right, for the company. So that is number 1. I remember growing up in high school, I never really thought stats was that important. I'm like, what's the point of this? To me, second to geometry felt like some of the most useless math. I'm like, when am I ever gonna actually use this when I grow up? Joke's on me, I should have probably paid more attention to stats during high school and not focus so much on calculus, but stats is everything. And make sure you know it, make sure you understand it. Iced Americano from Mercury Coffee Co. Let's try it out. It's all right. For the Americano, I'd probably give it like a 5 out of 10. Honestly, it might be a 4. I don't taste any coffee. It just tastes like water. Sorry, Mercury. I think it's really popular around here too. That's kind of surprising. Video is exporting right now. It's 4:20. Blaze it. Ganja time. I'm talking quietly because I'm at the UW library and I want to be respectful of everyone else here. It is finals week, so let's go into my next 2 things, which is going to be focused more on coding. Number 2 is that you still need to know how to code, so don't forget the fundamentals. So a little bit of backstory. I was a freshman. I took in software development class, CS 142 and 143, which heavily focused on Java. Now, these were really solid classes. UW is known for having the best computer science program, I would say almost in the world. It's like top 5. And now as a freshman, I decided to make a career change and I wanted to switch to UX design. I thought I would never have to code again, so I kind of forgot a lot of the fundamentals. Fast forward a little bit, UX design didn't work out, and I actually decided to go more into the data side, and data made more sense to me. It was very logical. It just clicked, right? And when something clicks like that, it's always a sign that you should do it. I will say that is one thing I wish I knew before, and that is to not forget the fundamentals, which is coding still. A lot of data is still coding, pulling data, analyzing it using Python, right? And honestly, I wish I remembered Java. That's like the biggest one, because Java could take me further now if I knew it better. Of course, I can take courses now and probably freshen up and learn how to use it in the way that a data engineer could use it, which is building all the programs that SQL runs off of. That goes into point number 3 for coding, which is to learn only the things that you need to know. Main ones are going to be SQL, Python, maybe R if you're in the research side of data, and then Java. All you really need to know when it comes to data, and that's something I wish I knew beforehand and I wish I could have focused more on. If I knew that Java was going to be important for data, I would have kept going at it. If I knew how important Python was, I would have also went harder at it in undergrad. So these are all things that I wish I knew before, and tis life. I know them now and I'm working at getting better at them now. Alas, we're here. I'm gonna continue working and getting a few more things done. I have class at about 5:30. I gotta present the recording that me and my teammates did. I also have another interview tomorrow. Oh, by the way, the interview that I did on day 1 actually got rejected, which is pretty sad, pretty disappointing. It was a data engineering role that I really did want, but it's okay, it happens. Sad that I got rejected, but we move forward. After class, I'm gonna grab some food, and then after that we can talk about points 4 and 5, which are pretty important things that I wish I knew before getting into this data space. Guys, I already know I complain about this class a lot, but literally just got a message from my TA and they literally told me that I needed to complete these to get full participation points. But but it literally says on the group discussion that is ungraded. And then he has audacity to tell me that it is graded still, even though it explicitly said that it is ungraded. This says it's ungraded, and this one says it's ungraded. These three all say they're ungraded. So why on earth would we possibly think that these would be part of our grade? There is absolutely no logic behind that. It literally says they are ungraded. So why do they have this stupid hidden agenda that they're just not telling us, not communicating clearly to us? Like, that is so confusing and frustrating and irritating. It's absolute bullshit. The worst class I've ever experienced in my entire life. I'm so tired, guys. Oh my gosh. Go Dubs. We're on our way to hopefully win against Houston. But yes. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Oh no. Okay, here we go. The last two things I wish I knew about being in data and being in the tech world. For number 4. Oh my gosh. Okay, number 4. Number 4. It's to think in big data and not small data. What do I mean by that? Well, oftentimes when we think about data, we think about Excel sheets, your contacts, first name, last name, date of birth, all this personal information, right? We think in this normalized, smaller bubble. I'm here to say, I wish I knew to think in big data and to think in data warehouse, larger cloud concepts. You don't realize how much data a company has or how big data sets can be until you actually are in it. And you're like, wow, that is a lot. Like, for instance, one Costco warehouse, guess how many transactions are happening every single day? Probably closer to hundreds of thousands of rows of data just in one single warehouse. That's insane. And then when you combine all of the warehouses and you get all of the transactional data, the sales over a 6-month period, that's millions of rows. That could be easily 30 million rows of data. That alone also isn't even that big. But something that I wish I knew was to not think in your Excel spreadsheet type data, really think in terms of big data. That's something I really wish I knew. And then lastly, this is something that I'm learning in my grad school program right now, but it's to shift my thinking from being task oriented, but to think in people, the systems, the processes, and the outcomes. MSIM really emphasizes the people, the system, and the processes, but I'm adding a fourth one and adding outcomes, because the outcome is just as important as all of this, right? All the people, the system, the process, all that won't matter. Outcome also doesn't match what you want. These are things that I wish I knew to think like. So for example, to not limit myself to one cloud tool. A tool is a tool. The goal should be to get the outcome, right? Doesn't matter if you're on AWS or if you're on Azure, if you're on Google. Yes, there might be different ways to do it, but they still do the same thing. They are cloud technology. And in terms of processes, exactly, they're different processes. They do the same thing to get the same outcome. And to think in people is to be relational. Think about who you are working with, because that is just as important as anything else. To care about the people, to build relationships, to be empathetic, to be loving, and to caring in the workplace. That is something that I wish I knew to emphasize even further. I mean, it's not like I was like a dick or anything, but at the same time, like, I saw my coworkers as just coworkers. But honestly, I've been learning that, hey, there can be work friends, we can be friends, we can be homies, and that's fine. So yes, that is all 5 things I wish I knew about for going into the tech data space. Recap: stats, knowing the foundational aspects of coding, knowing SQL, Python, and Java, and even R potentially. Think in big data, not small data. And the last one, again, is to think in people, systems, processes, and outcomes. Have that information management style of thinking, and to not just think in tasks, but think about the bigger picture. Whew, okay, if you guys can't tell, I'm pretty tired. It's only 9 p.m, but I got 5 more things I gotta do before I go to bed. But that being said, thank you guys for watching. That is day 7. I hope you guys have an incredible rest of your day. Love you guys so much. Have a good one. Have a good night. Oh my gosh, I'm tired. Okay, bye guys. East and the west, racking up on my breath, power on me, I'm feeling just like a Tesla. Too much tree, the smoke is making my chest hurt. Girl on me, I'm thinking I should've rest.